Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. Today, we are going to discuss castration for rapists. Chemical castration, physical castration. This is an entire debate that started off after a judge in Delhi asked for a debate on the subject. Justice Kamini Law, and I'm just going to read out to you what she actually said. The Indian legislatures are yet to address the issue of rape with all seriousness by exploring the possibility of permitting imposition of alternative sentences of surgical castration or chemical castration, particularly in cases involving the rape of minors, serial offenders and child molesters, or as a condition for probation or as an alternative sentence in case of plea bargaining. She asked for a debate. Let's have it. Is it a good idea or a bad idea? And we have a fantastic panel with us to help us go through all of this. I'm going to start by welcoming Renuka Chaudhary onto the program, who the senior Congress leader, was Minister for Women and Child Welfare. Renuka ji, thank you so much for being with us. One of India's most preeminent judicial minds, Justice R.S. Sodhi, it's a great pleasure and a privilege to have you with us here. Jaya Jaitley, former President, Samta Party, thanks a lot for being with us. Divya Datta, actor who has extremely strong views on the subject. Divya, thanks so much for joining us to expound those views to us. Ranjana Kumari, Director, Center for Social Research. Sadia Dehelvi, journalist and author. And Madhu Kishwar, activist and founder editor, Manushi. Thank you all so much for being with us. She asked for a debate. Is it a good idea or a bad idea? Divya, why don't you kick it off? You think it's a great idea. Why do you think it's a great idea?
Well, I'll talk as a woman. And I'll say I was reading Times of India front page and I read about this international celebrity who said, if I'm out of this imprisonment that I am in, I will go and rape the victim again and also her mother. So I'm saying, are you really treating him out with some kind of punishment? You're not. You're saying, okay, go rape ahead, go ahead and come back and we'll punish you again, put you in the prison again. That's not really helping it out. Two, I would want to say that if you see the current thing, in every 18 hours you have somebody being raped. It's just increasing. Is the present, punishment...
So castration, you think, would be
I'm saying, why not? Why can't it just be a rarest of rare cases where you put that little fear in people, in the men, that, agar aisa hoga, then your power, that thing that you have of dominant thing can go off.
That thing can go off. Okay, Renuka
can go off.
Renuka Chaudhary, she put that in a rather vivid fashion, I must confess. But Renuka Chaudhary, what do you think? Is it something which you ever contemplated?
I think it's time we take a view, because for too long we are still viewing rape as a woman's problem. The victim is it's her headache. And there has to be a bipolar view and look at it in what it is. And the reality is that...
And by the way, Renuka, just to intervene on that note, it's not necessarily a women's issue. A lot of children who are getting raped, yes. And let's face it, that's one of the most serious issues is child abuse. A lot of the children who are getting raped are actually boys. It's not
pedophiles, incest. Incest. In the ministry, we ran one of the world's largest sample groups, and we found that incest is such a hideous crime. And it's so swept under the carpets, and the ramifications of this are lifelong. And it affects these victims as well as their behavior towards other siblings and their family ties. And relationships are impaired because of this kind of gross abuse that goes on.
Okay.
So, it's time. No, I'm talking about gender. When you say rape, you associate it with a woman and it's her headache.
I don't think anybody on this panel or the audience or anybody viewing would ever say that there shouldn't be really strict punishment for rape. The question is whether castration is the right approach, whether it's physical or chemical. Jaya Jaitley.
I think it's a rather horrific idea to talk about castration, because I don't think, for one, it solves the problem, and two, it takes us back into some...
Why doesn't it solve the problem, especially if
because
it's physical?
I'm actually really wondering how much of the rape is created because of the lower part of the body or because of something wrong in the person's mind. And the mind can be because the person is deranged from birth, or whether the circumstances around create those kind of thoughts in the person's head that whatever happens, he wants a woman. And it doesn't matter if it's a 4-month-old child or a 15-year-old daughter. Now, I don't know how much of this is something uncontrollable in a man. If you tomorrow say that you are looking at me with lustful eyes, am I going to poke your eyes out? This is rather like the Taliban.
There is a difference between looking at somebody with lustful eyes and raping someone.
No, well, raping is
which
terrible.
Destroys the person's life.
Just as rape.
The issue, I can't believe that we're actually talking about, about these poor, helpless men. There are a lot of men who commit rape because the circumstances permit them to. It's not all of them are of the diseased mind, for God's sake.
No, certainly
So
not.
let's not
I think she's-
oversimplify or say that these poor men are the victims actually.
I am not
We can't say that.
being standing up for men at all. I'm standing up for a modern, sensible law. And the law, whether you rape somebody or you murder somebody, it's the same thing. I, for one, believe that you should not even have capital
I'm sorry.
punishment. You should
I don't
not
agree.
I don't know whether
Renuka is
Murder
disagreeing
and rape
violently
are
with
two
you.
different stories.
I'm not arguing with Renuka. I'm putting my
They're
point
two
across, which she
different-
has done, and now I would like to.
Yeah, but
and I
Okay,
Okay,
think once
Renuka, give her a
every-
chance to put a point across.
Renuka, do give me a chance. Hang on a bit.
Okay. So you're saying treated like murder, punish a person, but
Yes, a
castration is
person can be locked up for life if he's dangerous for life. But otherwise, I don't know, chemical
But
castration.
people
or any
don't, they
such
aren't
thing.
locked up for life.
They
A
should
rapist
be.
is let out in 7 years.
A harsh law is necessary, but harsh does not mean going back to the Middle Ages. The Taliban, if you show your leg or your arm, they cut it off. Is that what we're trying to do?
There's a difference between showing your leg
There's
and
a
raping
frustration
somebody.
and a desperation in this, which is showing that we can't create good
Okay.
laws.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.